Bluey is a series that showcases multiple generations of characters, including its main ones. What Bluey and Bingo would be like as teenagers? You probably remember that episode where Bluey builds a fort in the middle of the woods while camping with her parents, right? That's the episode where Bluey meets Jean-Luc, the little French-speaking pup. They spend several days together, playing and building a makeshift cabin with sticks and leaves, trying to communicate with the drawings on a rock to come up with a plan to catch a wild pig, which, as always, turns out to be poor Bandit. But eventually, they have to say goodbye, and Jean-Luc leaves before Bluey realizes that first hug was also their last. And you remember how sad Bluey was, don't you? After all, she lost a friend. But Chilli teaches her that sometimes the memories we make with those who come and go quickly from our lives are the moments we need to cherish forever. But then, at the end of the episode, we get a surprise. There's a time jump, and now Bluey is a teenager, sitting under the tree she planted with Jean-Luc as a kid, reading a book. And who shows up just before the episode ends? That's right, Jean-Luc! And now, he speaks English! So, it's not hard to imagine that Bluey stayed in his mind just as much as he stayed in hers, as the two shared that brief but meaningful friendship during those days. I bet he was excited to come back to Australia and reunite with the friend he made years ago during his childhood. And this is exactly where a new season, or perhaps even a new Bluey series, could take place, focusing on a slightly older audience. A series about Bluey, Bingo, and all their friends, now as teenagers, kind of like how Monica's gang became Monica Teen. Would you like to see a series with this theme? Then grab your emo band CDs and black t-shirts, because we're going to theorize about what some Bluey characters would be like as teenagers here on Zigzag. As we saw at the end of Jean-Luc's episode, Bluey sits under the tree she and her friend planted in the past, ready to read a book. This gives us an important detail. Bluey likes to read. What kind of books do you think Bluey would be into? Since she already showed great creativity as a child, I imagine she enjoys reading stories. And because teenagers don't play the same way kids do, her creativity might now be more contained in her imagination. One great way to let creativity thrive is through entertainment. Movies, series, games, books, YouTube videos. And since teenagers face many internal dilemmas, with emotions running high, and moments where it's hard to understand what's happening, reading could be the perfect escape for Bluey to process her feelings. Bluey was always the rebellious and bossy sister, leading games and taking what Bingo wanted. But who knows? Maybe now she's the opposite of that. Now, Bluey might be more thoughtful, quieter, and spends time on her favorite hobbies. Of course, this doesn't mean she's become a sad person. As we see in the final scene of Jean-Luc's episode, she still has the same energy that makes Bluey who she is. But the way she expresses herself to the world is a bit different, you know? And one cool thing we could explore in these teenage Bluey episodes is which theories about her future partner might come true. We already know she has this quiet friendship with Jean-Luc from the past, but what would a friendship look like now that they can understand each other as he's learned to speak English? Did he move to Australia for good? Or is he just visiting? Would Bluey travel to France to see his home? Another theory is that Bluey might end up with Mackenzie, who's a much closer friend to her. We've seen their bond across many episodes, unlike Jean-Luc's single appearance. So, what do you think could happen? Let us know in the comments using the hashtag #TeenBluey so we can hear your thoughts. But what about Bingo? What would she be like as a teenager? I have a really cool theory about this that ties perfectly with what I said about Bluey. Since Bluey was the rebellious, bossy one who led the games during their childhood, and now she's calmer, more thoughtful, and mature because she's older, I think it would be fun if Bingo became the rebellious one now. If Bluey is a teenager, then Bingo would be in her preteen years, since the two sisters might no longer be in sync when it comes to tastes, interests, and how they spend their time. This could make Bingo feel more rebellious as she's left alone while her sister just wants to do her own thing. We've already seen in that episode, where Bingo stays home alone, that she doesn't handle the situation very well. This could be a more advanced chapter in that same lesson, she would learn to find herself and enjoy spending time on her own because her sister won't always want or be able to do things with her. And in this journey to find herself, I imagine Bingo could discover a passion for the arts, specifically music, and even more specifically to Bandit and Chilli's horror, the drums. In that mini episode, where she finds an electronic drum kit, we already got a little taste of what this could turn into. And I think it makes total sense for Bingo to get into something like this because an instrument like the drums is perfect for releasing emotions by pounding away on the toms, snares, and cymbals. It would also be a great way to show new friends she could make through her interest in music. This could even open the door for Bingo to join a band. Can you imagine a bunch of little dogs jamming in Bandit's garage? That would be hilarious. What kind of music do you think Bingo would enjoy playing? I think Bingo would be into metal, one of those who wears black all the time, but still loves cute things, like Cat Squad. Can you imagine how funny it would be if Bingo was a metalhead? Now, this duo would be absolutely hilarious. Just imagine! We already know that Muffin has a flair for acting. Remember that episode where she plays the role of an elderly person so convincingly that she refuses to break character, even when confronted by a grumpy old lady just like her? Another thing we know, thanks to the mini-episodes, is that Muffin is a YouTuber running a toy review channel. Her channel must be pretty popular, considering she received a toy from a brand asking her to review it in one of the mini-episodes. That means she already has some level of success and fame as a child. How do you think this might have evolved? Would she stick to toy reviews? Or would her content shift focus? Can you imagine what kind of channel Muffin might run as a teen? Maybe she'd transition to vlogs, character performances like comedy skits, or even help Bingo build an online presence to promote her band. The possibilities are endless. As for Socks, she could be that teenager who feels embarrassed about her childhood. You know, like when your parents pull out photo albums to show baby pictures to relatives. Socks' earliest appearances in Bluey showed her behaving like an actual dog, walking on all fours, licking herself, barking, and growling. To keep this unique aspect of Socks in the series, it could be turned into a running gag where everyone teases her about it because they know it embarrasses her. We all have awkward childhood memories, but since Socks gets so flustered, this could become her special recurring joke in the series. If you'd find all of this as funny as we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss more videos like this one. Now, this one is super easy to imagine. In the cricket episode, we see how skilled Rusty is at the sport and how, with his brother's help, he manages to train every day, even under challenging conditions. Everything Bandit and the others try to throw at Rusty to throw him off his game, he's already prepared for, like when they make the ball bounce unpredictably. Turns out, Rusty is used to it because he's played cricket in someone's yard, where the ground was uneven, with dirt and tree roots everywhere. In this new phase of his life, Rusty could easily be portrayed as an aspiring athlete, dreaming of becoming a professional cricket player. Imagine watching his journey from being a kid who loves playing cricket with his brothers and cousins to someone who gets a tryout, or maybe even a spot, in the Junior Professional Cricket League. This setup could create numerous episodes revolving around Rusty's matches, involving other characters in creative ways. For instance, his first Junior League game could feature the other characters in the stands, with multiple parallel stories unfolding alongside the game. Or there could be a big 30-minute finale episode, much like The Sign, focusing on a championship match where everyone is watching Rusty on TV. With Rusty pursuing this career, it's easy to see his parents and brothers acting as his agents, coaches, or training partners. It could become a real family business. This would be even more exciting to watch because Bluey is such a well-crafted show. The animators could really show off their skills by creating sports sequences worthy of a Hollywood movie. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Bluey is a series that showcases characters of all ages, and of course, Bandit and Chilli couldn't be left out of this new stage in their daughters' lives. Here, we'd see them a bit older, with slightly different dynamics and completely fresh jokes as we witness how they handle their daughters' teenage years. And since Bluey isn't afraid to make adults cry, this would be the perfect character duo to show how parents feel watching their kids grow up so fast. In the episode Baby Race, we see Chilli's struggle with thinking she's a bad mom because Bluey is taking longer to start walking. In this new stage of their daughters' lives, we could see her and Bandit confronting similar feelings, but this time, with the fear of the inevitable moment when both girls are fully grown and no longer need their parents to live their own lives. Transitions like these could be explored not only through a more dramatic and bittersweet lens, but also by highlighting the joy of knowing you're doing a good job as parents. And I'm sure moments like Bandit reacting to Bluey's first boyfriend or Chilli helping Bingo with her drums and other instruments would be both heartwarming and hilarious, just as funny as the episode where they investigate what Bandit ate after farting in Bluey's face. And those were just a few possibilities we imagined for the future of Bluey and her friends as teenagers. Comment below with your own theories. As always, we've prepared 2 more Bluey videos for you to keep having fun with us. Just click on the one that caught your attention and enjoy.